Nigel, let's look ahead to the most anticipated game of the season so far. Mansfield Town away at Notts County, the return of the Nottinghamshire derby. What's the mood of the camp at this moment?
Well, it's good because we're 15 games unbeaten, but it's a little bit one of frustration that we've had a few draws, too many draws within that, and just turning a couple of those draws into wins would have put us, I think, level with Notts at the summit of the league. So. Yes, we're pleased, but at the same time, we could be up there with Notts.
From the supporters' perspective, 2,000 tickets were sold in the first 10 minutes, and of course it's a sellout in the away end. Does that give you a real indication of the appetite for this fixture?
Yeah, I went many years ago to watch Mansfield play at Notts, about 15 years ago, and they filled the whole end. I think it's on the side now, but they filled the whole end. So I was more than aware from then what it means to supporters and everything, and I think with Notts getting back into the league, it was one of the saddest things when they went out of the league. You know, all these football clubs, and when they did go out of the league, they're back in now. And I don't speak to anybody in football who wasn't disappointed when they left the league and wasn't pleased when they got back in it. I think they've done so well in the last few seasons and won a lot of matches, and the momentum they had last season in any other season apart from where Wrexham were in the league, they walked the conference. But they got there in the end, and it's going to make for an interesting one. It's interesting that it's fallen on International Week as well, which means it's live on TV, so it'll probably get a little bit more exposure than it would have done normally.
Not only that, but it sounds like it's going to be a sellout in the home ends as well. So you're looking at close to 19,000 perhaps.
What a brilliant crowd for League Two, isn't it? And that's one of the reasons they're a big club. I remember playing against them in the top division at Forest, many years ago, probably before you were born, Steve-O. That's, where they've been as a club in the equivalent of the Premier League. So it's a big club, and it's a good club as well. And the support, I think, as well. I think maybe if you're even Forest fans, I know that they used to go and watch them. If Forest were away from home and they couldn't make it or something, then they'd pop along and watch Notts at home as well. I think it's that sort of relationship between the two clubs.
We'll speak about Notts County in their season shortly, but for Mansfield, what will your focus be on?
Trying to preserve our unbeaten run, but certainly not in a negative way. I don't think we've done that in any of the games we've played so far. I think Notts pose certain problems to you on the pitch, the way that they play. They're quite expansive, and in David McGoldrick, they've probably got one of the outstanding players in the league.
What are derby games like to play in and manage in?
You're always aware that there's that little bit extra on them, so a little bit more nerve-wracking and a little bit more responsibility to try and not lose the game. And obviously, if you can win it, especially away from home, we had a lot of experience at Derby, playing Derby Forest games and things like that over the years. So we're very much aware of what it means to supporters.
What do you expect it might come down to on Saturday?
Probably finishing, which looking at the last week for us, we might struggle with, but I think there'll be chances within the game because of the way we play and the way Notts play. So it'll be who converts them.
It's going to be a fascinating encounter for so many different reasons, none more so than the fact that you have the best defensive record in the league. Notts have one of the best striking records in the division.
Yeah, that's what, and we're going to have to defend extremely well, I think, to restrict them. I think Barrow did that on Saturday and played well against them, but on the home patch, they're very strong.
Notts County are top of the league. Why have they been so good so far this season?
I think the squad they've assembled over the last couple of seasons has been one that would, when you saw them play, I saw them a few times in the conference last season and thought these would easily, more than survive in League Two. And I think with the additions of the like of David McGoldrick, I think when they lost Rodriguez, who did really well for them in the conference, and then to replace him with somebody as good as David McGoldrick, and this momentum and everything just continues. I didn't think they needed too many additions in the summer.
What type of encounter are you expecting?
I think despite the the way that we play and they play, I think they always tend to be a bit tight, and it may just fine margins usually in local derbies. And it might even be a little bit nervy, with them being top of the league, us chasing them towards the top of the league as well. It might be a little bit nervy early on.
It has all the ingredients to be a real good match in Sky Bet League Two. What's your message to the faithful who'll be travelling down on Saturday?
Well, I hope it is. I hope it's a good match for everybody. And but we're going to try and play in the same way that we have done from the first minute at Crewe.
Best of luck.
Thank you.